you're combining the mind maps with the outline method. What particular outline method specifically do you use? You remember we had a discussion.
I believe it was called the outline.
It was called the outline method, as opposed to the Cornell method.
Yeah, and with the outline method, I don't just use the same symbol over and over, like bullet point. I have like my main idea, like my first bullet point, is like a dot, and then say there's a sub idea, then I go into like a dash, and then if there's another idea with the like sub idea, then I do like asterisk. And then
So you also incorporate symbols in this as well to represent different things.
Yeah.
All right, this is very good. This is more one of the complex methods, but that's very good.
Works for me.
Works for you. And remember, that's the key. Whatever works for you, that's what you need to use. All right, excellent. Oh, one other thing I want to bring out to your attention. From the video, Ms. Cornish mentioned visual. What part of the brain processes this information?
Low in the back.
Exactly. Exactly. Very good. Very good. All right, Alan, your group. Speak up a little bit because I can't hear too well because of the air conditioning.
So, I don't really study a lot, but whenever I do, I either use the bullet points for notes.
What?
The bullet points.
The bullet points?
Yeah, or I use the flashcards.
All right, so Alan says for his group, when he studies, he uses an outline method with bullet points, coupled with flashcards. Alan, why do you like flashcards?
They're simple to me.
They're simple, right?
It's not like there's a lot of reading you have to do. You put main concept on one side and details on the other side.
They're simple and they're portable. Plus, another term we can use, they're easy to use. You can take flashcards anywhere. You don't have to have a book with you. So a lot of students prefer this method, and it's a very effective one. All right, Ebony, your group.
Well, for me, I sometimes like to use like review sheets.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
For me, I sometimes like to use review sheets.
I still can't hear, I'm sorry.
Review sheets.
Review sheets. Excellent. Review sheets. Talk to us a little bit about review sheets.
Well, sometimes in math class, like we were like going over a past lesson, like or a previous lesson we did. She like give us review sheets, so we could like retrieve what we remember or what we didn't remember.
All right, that's a very good point. With review sheets, the instructor can provide those for you, or you can make them for yourself. Another study technique dealing with review sheets is when you make them yourself. Why would this be beneficial to you if you make a review sheet?
It would be easier for you to go because it's something that you know.
It's another way of reinforcing what you've already learned, correct? And then you can easily identify areas of concern that you have in making your own review sheet so that when it comes time for you to discuss your concerns with your instructor, you already have that outline. So this is a very good strategy. So the mind maps particularly I like. The outline method, I use that quite a bit. Flashcards, I'm using that right now, trying to learn Greek and Hebrew. That's very helpful. And review sheets. Those are all good. Now, a couple that are in your book that I do want to bring out and share with you another resource. And this resource that I'm talking about just briefly here in the next couple minutes is a course book that I'm currently using in cognitive psychology. And it talks about mnemonic devices. Mnemonic devices. PJ, can you give me an example of a mnemonic device?
acronyms.
All right, so a mnemonic device, let's look at this a couple of ways. It helps you organize your information for encoding. You know, in our calendar year, we have how many months? We have 12 months. Some of those months have 30 days, some has 31 days, one has 28 days. Which month has the less number of days? February. Right. So one way to remember the month and how many days are in the month is to use this mnemonic device by you putting together your hands. Let's all do that just for a moment. You put together your fists, and as you can see by this illustration, the months that have 31 days, they fall on your knuckles. The months that fall in between your knuckles, they don't have 31 days. So that's the way that you can actually remember which months have 31 days and which do not, is by using this simple mnemonic device. So a mnemonic device is another strategy that you can use in your memory. There are some others that I'm going to provide you this resource because we're concluding our time right now, but there's some others in this resource I'm going to provide for you to take a look at, to go back and look over it. One we've already discussed, which is rehearse, or practice. Also, remember, we talked about the forgetting curve. That's something we discussed in another lesson. So these are just some things to keep in mind as you move forward in your studies as it relates to you becoming more proficient in learning how to study, understanding the memory making process of encoding, storage, and what's the last one? Retrieval. And understanding the parts of the brain as it relates to how this information is processed. As we learned from the video, the prefrontal cortex, thanks Ms. Moon, the prefrontal cortex helps us to do what?
Maintain our focus on the information that's in front of us.
That helps us maintain our focus as the information is coming in and as it's processed. And the hippocampus does what, Joseph?
The hippocampus is the part that actually encodes the information so you can retrieve it later.
The hippocampus is the part of the brain that actually helps us encode it and consolidate it so that we can later retrieve it. Because the goal is to have the information transferred from short-term memory to long-term memory. Very good. Well, excellent. I appreciate your time this morning. On Monday, we will pick up on a new lesson. We'll start working for the final. Make sure you look over any assignments in Blackboard that you may need help with or you're behind on, so we'll discuss those on Monday. All right, y'all have a good weekend.